different developers or community moderators, will reach out and have different expectations or requirements from the streamer, and then choose dungeon type, normal or heroic. I like that. You can do normal though. And then on a streamer by streamer basis decides whether they want to whether they even want to play the game, and then if they are happy with the terms and conditions. So it's kind of I have enough to upgrade the rest point now. Oh, that's what it was for. I was trying to work out what that chalice was for. That's right, it's for an extra rest point upgrade. Thank you. I should have gone back to town instead of being in the dungeon. We're not going to clear out the dungeon anyway, so we'll do as much as we can. Don't die. And head on out. These guys are pretty tough, though. That's a big jump in hit points. Well, that has always been the case with any of the things. I've never been offered a game to play without streaming a minimum amount of time. So, in the eyes of most, I don't know the word, I suppose governing bodies or agencies, that's seen as a value equivalent to the product. Although it taxes really weird, depending on where you are. Like some places will have some really weird tax rules around that. I wonder if I can wait like that. Be interesting where they go in the battle deck. Like if they're in those cards, because then after the turn, because I put that in there. Lesser sacrifice, so we could sacrifice the ailments. Plus I've got the ring. But I always found it weird. Hey, I wanted that. I always found it weird, the rule that you need to tell someone that it's sponsored. Like just in general, whether it's you're getting paid or it's something that you wanted to do. It's like, well, I can thank Fire Festival for that. I'm not familiar with the story, Naughty Pine. I don't think that's going to go off. It's always 4. Is that going off this turn? I'm going to see if that goes off this turn. I know it might cost me some health, but that's okay. Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I'd never argue it because that's the rules, right? But I don't see why. If someone wants to give, if you agree to take a payment, some monetary value, whether it be per hour or per viewer or just a flat pay or whatever, why is that? You know, why should you have to tell that to anyone if you don't want to? I probably still would. Maybe, I don't know. No, I think I would. I think I'd always just be like, hey, look, this dev team has asked me to do this and I'm happy to because, you know, I think it's a good product and we want to check it out. But yeah, I just don't see why you should have to. You'd feel that the streamer's opinions are likely coloured by the sponsorship. So does that change if they have to tell you? So like, let's say, like my opinions on this game are XYZ. Are those different because they're paying me to? And if so, do you not, because you know this is sponsored, do you not listen to my opinion on the game? Or would you only listen to my opinion on a game if it's not sponsored? That's what I mean. Like, why? That's why what you've said is one of the reasons why I personally think that you shouldn't have to say if it's sponsored or not, because it's, for me, I'm going to give my opinion no matter what. And anyone that knows me will know that I've given some pretty harsh opinions in the past, to the point where I stopped playing a game because I just flat out said this game is not good, and I do not wish to play it anymore. And I gave my reasons, and then I stopped, and then I didn't talk about it anymore because I didn't want to badmouth it. I'm not going to sit there and just trash on it, you know, because you know someone's worked on that, you know. But because you've said you'd take into the fact that if it's sponsored or not, that means you might believe me less because I'm being sponsored. Whereas me personally, I want my opinion to be taken at what I say. It depends if you stay true to yourself, yeah. But that's the thing. Someone else, like one of you guys out in chat, you don't know if I'm staying true to myself. So when Two Curb says, well, I can take it into account if it's sponsored, and if he means, well, I can believe you less if it's sponsored, well, then I'd be, you know, that sort of, for me, is a reason why I'd prefer not to have to say if it's sponsored or not. Like I said, I probably still would, because people that know me know that I speak my mind sometimes a little too much, and I'm okay with that. No, thank you. But yeah, I wouldn't want someone thinking that what I'm saying is different because it's sponsored content. I think we need to go get that thing. Oh, maybe not. Yeah. I'm actually finding it very hard to keep my deck going. Well, what have we lost? Yeah, enough. Well, here's the thing though, right? Someone who does an ad, like a television ad, where they have to read lines, right? A scripted television ad, where they say, you know, I get up every morning and I have a bowl of, what's the Calvin and Hobbes one? Super Choco Crunchy Honey Smack Bombs, or whatever it is, and they are great. I love them. You know, buy one today, right? That's not even their opinion. That's just something they're paid to say, but they don't have to go, this is sponsored content. speed's been increased. That's good, but I want to get to here. And I can't... Oh, I've got to go... that way. You know, and so they don't... You don't get a... You know, and especially if it's a well-known actor, you don't know if they're doing it as an acting or if it's a thing. But if they are getting paid to give their own opinion, they do have to put on the ad, you know, it says who the ad was paid for and sponsored by. But a lot of people don't realize that. So you don't know if it's the actor doing basically a part or an actor as themselves giving an opinion. And it's not false, they've just taken a job, right? There is a different... But I don't think they have to do that on YouTube, though, do they? Like someone can just put out content and put it up there? Alright, that's nice. I think that's going to help a little bit, but not enough. Is that Starbucks? Did someone say something about Starbucks before? Is that a nod to Game of Thrones? That's clever. I like it. Even if it's not, they can just claim and say, yeah, totally. That's what we meant. I'm still on the fence. I think mainly because there's been games that I have been looking at. Alright, Naughty Fine. Thanks for hanging out, dude. Appreciate it. There've been games that I've been looking at that, like, thinking of buying myself, that have become, that offers have become available. Whether they've reached out to me specifically and said, hey, we think you might like our game, or at least we'd like to see you play our game, feedback-wise. There's also different websites available to content creators where games are put up that you can just take a copy if you meet certain requirements as a streamer, and there's different terms and conditions that are attached to taking one of those, one of which is always make content for it. And sometimes one of those games will pop up and I'll be like, man, I was going to buy that game and now I can go get myself a free copy and I've got to stream it, which was what I was going to do anyway. So does that become... But that has to be listed as sponsored as well. It does have to be listed as sponsored. So it's kind of weird. And like you said, if people maybe feel that I'm producing a different content because it's sponsored, that's a big reason to not advertise that it's sponsored. You brought it up the first time I came to camp? No, you didn't, Naruto. Don't give me that rubbish. I want to go back to the dungeon. Although the dungeon felt... I don't know, this sort of feels more rewardsy for this stuff. Oh, the Starbucks cup. I did say I think someone brought it up. So I'll give you credit for that. Unless someone else is here to say, no, it was me. Yeah, I think out here feels like there's more stuff. I don't know if it should feel... I don't know if it is. It just... That's how it feels. Oh, okay, so that's a permanent one that will come back into our hand, right? Oh, we just get it right. Oh, that's what it meant by you don't need Ash to craft this card. you just get one. Or you don't get it, you have to... You'll probably pay coin. Is there a heal? I should have healed back at camp. I could have got one from the herbalist. That's what I needed to have done. This has got a lot of health. He's gonna stun me now. It's funny because Headwound told me in advance. He's like, I was asking like how long the run's taken here. He says about 2 to 3 hours. I'm like, okay, so it's going to take me 4 hours plus, and that's even if I get halfway through, even if I look like I'm going to complete it, which is where we're sort of at. And I'm after, like, on a scale of fast to slow, I'm on the slow side of the medium line, but there's definitely people that play a lot slower than I do. I don't know if I like Pyro Bomb anymore. Oh, maybe I should play it and not revive it. Crits. And for me, it puts the game at sort of like an awkward phase. It's like it's left the length of time for I don't know how good. Like what do we like? It's still definitely roguelite sort of playability, but that sort of, you know, play one after the other type of game. Do we have words for that? But it's not. It's nowhere near the sort of campaign length game. Do I want to fire? I can't. Okay. Alright, Zanza. Have a good one. If I don't see you over the weekend, have a good one of those as well. Five for each one we've discarded. Okay, so that's 25. 24. Didn't quite catch it. But I definitely wanted to discard those. Oh. Bonus. I'll see you tomorrow. Or you go, like when you say you're heading out, are you just for the day or are you going for the weekend? Nice, we can just craft that. 20 cards to renew. Marbles seem good. I like the lesser sacrifice. I like that. Don't really like the stun bomb. Let's put that back in there. Ooh. Ambush. Did I bring back... I did bring back Lesser Sacrifice. We might be in a little bit of trouble here. I'm kind of okay with that. A hanged man. It's kind of cool. Oh, fine, I'll keep those. We crit on the spark, not the fireball. It's okay. If we can get round to having something cheaper, get rid of the imp and then start hanging that man. Gonna kill him. Right, Mr. Hangman. No, I want to keep those. Let's get rid of these, actually. Ah, man, I should have kept the thing. Oh well. I've got... Right, well... we don't need to take extra damage, we'll hit him with that one. So I think the problem with Reduced to Ashes, large deck full of curses, jerk. Is that, yeah, if you have to go back to camp and get all your cards pulled back because you've used too many cards in combat, like you just end up with all these like curse and status cards back in your hand. It's a bit of an issue. And then you have to spend all your money you got putting them back. And they're only 15 a pop though. Instead of paying to heal. 4 points to heal. Means you get to pull back 5 cards. It's not enough. Yeah, we're gonna have to go back home. Just pull back some cards in case we get combat. But we'll probably die from it. We'll see what we can do. It's the boss from Act 1. He's just a regular enemy out here. Although you use the... maybe that's it. Using the card maker card. Costs 20 health. But you get 5 cards back. You just get punished though if those 5 cards are bad cards, because you're making cards when your deck's low. So if you pull back 5 cards and 2 or 3 of them are curse cards, like that's just awful, right? can't do that. Why? Stealth. Okay, so we get Ash Pact, discard these cards, and then just Lesser Sacrifice. Let's see how that goes. Out of those 5 cards, we got a Cold and a Rage, so 2 of them were cards we didn't want to see. Two colds and a rage, actually. We're going to be, yeah. I do my Lesser Sacrifice. Oh, gets the crit. Okay, we need Lesser Sacrifice. And unless it's available. It's not there. Oh, reduced to ashes. And a couple of these boys. That's nice. And enough go. Okay, we have to do that. An event, which is nice. Not reading text. What's that? Okay. Ash Storm is going to do things. Where? Maybe? Okay. Three battles. Whoa. I like that. I think that's really cool how the part of the map disappears. Okay, so we're going to renew our cards and then burn the ones we don't want, which includes Stun Bomb. I don't want Stun Bomb anymore. But we keep it because it makes our 4 colds. No, that costs actually costs a lot of money. 150 gold to do that. Where's the merchant gone? He took his Starbucks with him. No, thank you. Okay, you have to purchase those first. Okay, we have to get that first. Increases max health. It's possibly reasonable, I guess.